The Conference of Champions stops in Tucson, Arizona. Meet of the week is presented by Pacific Premier Bank. It's a rivalry for sure. Territorial Cup points at stake. Number 20, ASU on the road down in Tucson, I-10 against the Arizona Gym Cats at this building of champions, McHale Center here in Tucson, Arizona. And we're glad to have it for you. All sorts of fun and bragging rights. Don't forget about those bragging rights and getting set halfway point in the season. Olympic gold medalist Amanda Borden. My name is Darren Sutton. Thanks for being with us. Look, 17 and 20. You talked about that both have touched 197 as a team, living in the 196s. This still the rivalry makes this so special.
Well, both of these teams are having a very consistent season. I think that's really important. They're also coming off a couple of their best meets of the season. So I think they're pretty evenly matched. It's going to come down to who hits the best routines 24 times in this competition.
Let's start with Allison Fears of Arizona. Seeing her perform all around, devastating when she's right, and could be a big part of this tonight.
Well, she has made improvements on every single event since last season. She had an incredible meet last week against Cal. All four of her scores were 9.8 or better, including a 9.95 on the uneven bars. Her coaches told me she absolutely loves to compete, and that brings a great competitive energy to the floor for this team.
Ranked 65th in the land and all around 58th in uneven bars. On Jan 23, Pac-12 Coach's Choice Award winner, Malia Hargrove from Sparks, Nevada, an elite vaulter, but also strong on floor.
Well, she's a fifth-year senior, but she's always been a key player to this team. Incredible work ethic matched with great gymnastics. You mentioned the vault. Last week, she was nearly perfect with a 9.975, and we're going to see her in the all-around here today.
2021, she was the team MVP, Hannah Scharf. She is Canadian. She is a cornerstone for this program.
Well, she is a rock-solid competitor, an incredible leader for this team. She's got clean execution on every single event. She fights for the details. Last week, she won the floor title with a 9.9. She was back in the all-around. We're going to see her back in it today, but this team needs her leadership and confidence across the board. She's
a future orthopedic surgeon. Sarah Clark, her teammate, is a future physician or physician's assistant. These are great students in the classroom. Clark's special out on the floor, though, too.
Well, she is absolutely beautiful on all the events. She has effortless skills. She has the great form and flexibility, extension, execution, you name it, she's got it. She had a big weekend against Stanford, winning the bar title and the beam title. She was also named Pac-12 Specialist of the Week.
This is our meet of the week. Now, here's what you have to remember. Arizona is very strong on floor. Closer strong on floor, and they're at home. That means ASU. They have to be strong out of the gates. They must be set. Let's get it going. Territorial Cup battle right around the corner. And you can feel it starting to warm up as we're getting close to, well, it's Arizona, springtime. Everyone's talking about up in the valley baseball, but here they're talking about gymnastics at McHale. Now, let's talk about the road to nationals. You see the strength of Cal this year. Maya Lezon, a great story there, the native of Kent, Washington, but this Conference of Champions always seems to be really making it difficult for those around the rest of the country. Kudos to the top 20.
Absolutely. These teams are really fighting for those spots. And at this point in the season, it's all about getting the scores they need to get those RQSs as they prepare for postseason.
Head coach John Court, sixth season, and you can see that number 21 score last season, program's best since 2016. There's just an attitude and an expectation that since Court has made this program his own, that he has passed along for what feels like a generation, really.
He has such a calm demeanor. I think that is so important when the pressure is on, and he's really proud of this team. He said they've been consistent, they're doing the work in the gym, and they're showing up at the meets.
Jay Santos popped by to say hello to us just a moment ago. 8th season. 2 times he's been the Pac-12 Coach of the Year. They're a couple of years removed from winning a Pac-12 championship. Assess Jay as a coach, if you will, with all of your experience.
Well, again, he's helped rebuild this Arizona State program. They have really made tremendous strides, not just in their scores and their rankings, but they are deep on every single event. In fact, when I talked to him earlier, he said, you know, we're playing with some lineups. We have some options. And I think that's a really good place to be. A few years back, both of these teams were struggling to find 6 to put in the lineup. So I think they're really proud of the growth they've made, and I think it's going to be a great competition. Yeah, the reigning Pac-12 Coach of the Year last year, the 2018 Pac-12 Coach of the Year as well. Postseason each season for Jay Santos since 2018 for these two teams. Vault lineup,
for Arizona. Fears, Griever, Strom, Martin, Hargrove, and Castle. When you take a peek at Arizona and you peek at where they stand on vault, their highest number of the year, 49,475. They're ranked 17th in the land. Allison's from Murrieta, California, Vista Murrieta High School. Her best on vault, 9.825. Glad you're with us. Here we go.
Yurchenko layout vault, beautiful technique, a little too much power. Lean back on that landing. This is an event where you'll see the Yurchenko layout vault a lot. That is a 9.95 start value, so just really important that they're buckling down on those landings.
Barbamente starts it with right behind her, Sienna, then it's Scharf, Jada, Emily White, Sarah Clark, and it starts with Cassie Barbamente out of Lake Park High School. She's from Illinois. Mom played Division I softball, Mom Jackie.
Starting right away, Pike Yeager. Great distance, nice amplitude, down to the low bar. Of course, hitting those handstands, always important in this event. At this point in the season, when you ask the coaches, it's about the details. Handstands and landings, taking that step forward there. Solid start.
9.85, her career best, Cassie. 9.875 at the 21 regional finals. There have been some huge moments for her, this senior, who competed for Palmer's Gymnastics before arriving on campus. On the other side, on vault for Arizona, Ainsley Griever, the freshman. What a great opportunity for her. 9.8, her career best, from Naperville, Illinois. 9.75 on vault against Stanford and against Cal. A 9.8 against UCLA.
When I asked John about the vaults, he said we have 110-0. So that means we're focusing on going big, being clean in the air, and finding control on the landings. To get past that 9.8 on the Yurchenko full, they've got to have it all.
Phenom Gymnastics is where she competed for 12 years. A 9.775 for Fears to open things as Griever is introduced. Lane and Gretchen, her parents.
Much better control there on that landing. She had those arms out to the side. Perfect posture on her landing. So to get that height, you got to come into the table aggressive, turning that round up over. Nice block, legs glued together in the air. And you can see she pulled her arms out to the side, giving her that posture landing, that chest up, but staying in control and not leaning back. Very nice.
Boy, pure strength there. And for ASU now, Sienna Samali follows Cassie Barbamente and does so on the uneven bars. Sienna, after a 9.725 for Cassie, makes her opportunity. 9.925, her career best on uneven bars. She's a local product from Chandler High School, gold medal gymnastics in Chandler, Arizona.
She opens this reaching up with a Yeager. High flying, great distance, beautiful form down to the low bar. Finishing double layout. Great routine for her.
Yeah, there have been moments for her already, the senior, and this year as well. And at 23 with 8 meets in a row with the 9.825 or better. She was really hot last year to close things out. That's exactly when they need her. Strong for Sienna.
Take another look. She has beautiful toe point and form on this event. Nice extension. And then wrapped it up with a double layout.
On the other side, we see high fives. Emma Strong took her run at things. We'll do our best to show you how Emma competed. The sophomore from Omaha, Nebraska, again on vault. 9.85, her career best. Just gave it a go.
She warmed up a beautiful Yurchenko full. Looks like she liked the vault that she competed there. Let's take a look at it. She has lots of speed and power, so it's all about that takeoff and that landing position. She lifted her head just a little bit, so it looked like she rebounded forward just a hair.
9.725. Sienna with the 9.775. You told us about Hannah Scharf coming on the air. Daughter of Mary and Brad. There have been so many accolades throughout her time. She's 41st in the land on bars.
Last week was the first time she was back in the lineup this year on this event. Nice combination work up to the high bar. Perfect pirouette on top.
52 individual titles in her journey.
Dismounting, giant full, double tuck. That's the detail I was talking about. She knows exactly what it takes to start creeping those scores up. She's got to hit the handstands. She has a variety or a couple choices of a dismount. This one for her combination, a giant full. She's a little over the top on it, but knew exactly where she was on that double tuck, snapping those arms out.
Boy, that was beautiful. And on the other side, an opportunity to see Martin go to work. Abigail Martin from a seasoned senior on bars to a freshman who has earned the right to be here. She's out of Bancliff, Texas. Abigail Martin on vault 9.85, her best in her rookie year. Vaulted a 9.85 at UCLA.
Nice. Very good. Lots of potential in these vaults. You can see, like I mentioned, one of the goals is getting a little more control on the landings. They've got the power, the form, and the height. Let's take another look. So right here, she has to keep those shoulders over the front of her knees as she lands. I mean, great posture, but you'll see as she lands, just that momentum carries her back, and then still kind of leaning back on that final finish. So those are subjective deductions.
Hannah with the 9.8. I thought maybe she could cheat up even above that just a little bit. Jada Mengahas out of Allentown, Pennsylvania.
High-flying Jaeger. Catching in full extension, gave her great swing down to the low bar. She's very dynamic. She even brings that to the uneven bars. You can see the power in her swing. She finishes full twisting double back. Holds on to that landing.
15 and 19 JO Nationals qualifier, 9.925, her career best on bars.
Look at this, catching in full extension with her body extended completely, so she's able to get a good swing down to the low bar. And then finishing right there, you can see her right foot shuffles just a little bit. It'll be a small deduction. Beautiful routine for her.
Everyone's strike throwing out of the gates to use that baseball tie. So far, so good. Strong for both these programs. Starting to ease the burdens of those that come behind and really have a chance to take a step out and go for it. That's what Malia Hargrove will do. The red shirt senior, her career best, 9.975.
She is the most difficult vault of this lineup. Yurchenko 1.5 twist. Nice height. Oh. They're just a little amped up, which is not a bad thing.
But the strong start for everyone makes that okay for that effort, correct?
Absolutely, and this is such a beautiful vault. The blind landing makes it very challenging. You never want to come up short, so over-rotating is a much better option. And you can see she just needs to look over her shoulder a little longer right there, so she knows exactly where she's at and then absorb a little bit more on the landing.
Jada with the 9.8, so Scharf and Jada go back-to-back 9.8. Now Emily White on bars, on uneven bars, a 9.925, her career best. Matter of fact, dropped a 9.9 on Oklahoma and Boise State last year on bars.
Combination up to the high bar. And then she transitions back down to the low bar. Handstands, really important. Wow. She had a nice late drop. Almost looked like she didn't get her back foot in, but held on to it. Nailing that final handstand. She has such smooth rhythm on this event. Oh, knees buckled just a little bit.
The smallest of steps, the tiniest for the daughter of Therese and Eric from Los Alamitos High School in Seal Beach, California. One of those great students at Barrett Honors. If you're getting that done, that's an Ivy League level education.
Look at those legs glued together on her double layout, and you can see when she landed, her knees just kind of buckled over those toes. Couldn't hold on to the stick, but just a small deduction.
And Teresa Looks across the other side and sees Jessica Castles now from Fleet, England. She actually grew up in the Middle East. Went to the 6th Form College of Farnborough. And Jessica gets ready to go on vault. 9.9 her career best, a senior.
Wrapping up the rotation with another layout full. Took that small hop, but definitely trying to show control there.
.49.475, their best this year on vault for Arizona. They're a 49.183 average. Meantime, on bars, the best for ASU this year is 49.375. They're 16th in the land. ASU is on bars. Sarah Clark is the closer from Modern Day High School in Huntington Beach, California. Also a Barrett Honors student.
Nice Jaeger flip. Transition down to the low bar. Finishes with the double layout. That is a great landing. Yeah, I saw her do that in the warm-up. And you never want to say something too soon, but she did that a few times in the warm-up. I was pretty confident that was going to be a stick.
You can't jinx a stick like that. There's no way. It was beautiful. What a way to finish things for Sarah Clark, sending a message. Daughter of Susan and Ed.
Right there, holding on to it. Big smile on her face. You know, that wasn't ASU's best bar rotation, but definitely solid and a good start.
As we mentioned, ASU 16th in the land. They're giving you 49.204 on the average. We'll see how things stack up points-wise between these two squads. Clean, that's what they're happiest about out of the gates, the energy. Great support as always here in Tucson, Arizona, stacking up to be a good one. Amanda and Darren back on campus with all of you. Amanda Borden, to be specific, the Olympic gold medalist. And pretty good seats when you get upgraded to those. Well, we always talk about Tucson, Arizona, and the way this city and this community supports every sport, not just the ones you would think of, but every single sport, and that's what makes it great. And for you, the energy's got to be fun. This is what we saw with vault. This is what the fans get excited about, certainly. But your thoughts on some of the numbers?
Yeah, you know, I think the goal for Arizona on vault was to tighten up their landings. They had great power, great amplitude, height, but they did take a few of those steps. So I think just notching into the 9.8s means they got to stick those landings.
John Court will spend time with us once we get him all set on the audio side. I think John's joining us now across the way. John, thanks for being with Amanda and I. We really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me on.
What were you most proud of your team as they prepared this week? Of their preparation, what gave you most joy?
Well, we had a short week. You know, we competed on Sunday and flew back Sunday night. Took Monday off, so we knew that in the training cycle that we were going to have two meets really close to each other. We have another meet on Monday, and the main thing is that they have to stay within themselves. They have to use what I call their inward energy. Right now, they know how to do their gymnastics. They can do it at a high level, and that's what they're the most confident in. We've been very, very consistent, and we just wanted to make sure that we came out tonight, and the plan all week and all season just has been to be consistent, let scores build, let routines build, and hopefully by the end of the night we accomplish all our goals.
Well, so far you've done that this season. How important is the leadership of Malia and Allison to what happens in the gym, but also what happens here at the competitions?
Well, certainly they're two of our fiercest competitors. They're both all-arounders. They can deliver 9.9s, but they're great in practice. They practice at a very high level. They practice hard, and that's something that everybody can look up to. Because sometimes people wonder, how do they do it day in, day out, night in, night out? How do they do it from practice to the meets? So, you know, sometimes as coaches, you know, part of being a good coach sometimes is to say, hey, maybe you should ask them what their thought process is. And sometimes they can help you out. So those two are very, very valuable. They're having great preseasons, great careers. Their time in Tucson, and we're just going to keep it going.
Well, you've also added some youth to this team also, but you're heading to the bars next. You mentioned earlier to me that this is an event where you've seen some growth, and it's a much stronger team. What's been the biggest difference?
Well, certainly this bar squad averages 0.5 higher than any other bar squad at this time during the year. That's a lot. that's a lot. They've been averaging about 49-1 all season long, and there's been a new buy-in there. Kylie is doing a fantastic job leading the group, and there's a lot of talent over there. There's a lot of competition in practice, so it translates to the competition floor.
John, I have the good fortune of calling every sport on the Pac-12 network, and
Yes,
I'm always
do.
blown away by the support of Tucson. Doesn't matter the sport, John, and you know that whenever you stop by with any sport in this building or on any field. How proud are you to be a part of this community for more than a generation and the support you always receive?
Well, I am a part of the community. I live here, I work here. One thing about Tucson, U of A, I mean, we are the show within the city. Everyone that loves, if you love sports, if you love college sports, it doesn't matter what sport it is, you come here and the public supports our student athletes, and our athletes love being in Tucson. So it's something that, it's a great, fantastic place to go to school and be a student athlete. Wouldn't want to be anywhere else.
Do it, John. Thanks for hosting us tonight. We appreciate it.
All right, thank you very much. Bear down.
Legendary coach John Cord here, and what he has built 2 decades as an assistant on this program, and now as a half-decade plus leading his program as the head coach. When we come back, it's an opportunity for ASU to continue to start strong on the road. That's exactly what they have done against their rivals. And there you see the numbers. That's exactly, we talked about the strength of Arizona on the floor, and so for Arizona State, this was the kind of start they were looking for. They will tell you we could even climb higher than that numbers-wise, but at least jumping out front.
Absolutely, solid starts. I mean, I felt like some of the scores were tight on both sides, to be honest with you, but I do think that performance-wise, the coaches are very pleased with what they started with. Now, the key is building. You've heard both coaches talk about building, building, building. So for U of A, they're going to the uneven bars. It's been a strong event for them. Arizona State over to the vault. It's been a pretty good event for them. They have some difficulty in there, some scores that are going to start from that 10.0. So again, it's going to come down to hitting them clean.
So I always have the more simple question that a lot of fans would ask out there watching that the expert could tell us. If you feel like first rotation scores are a little tight, does that affect teams or coaches at all going forward?
You know what? We're taught to not let it affect you, right? They can't control what the judges are scoring. So with that being said, they have to really block it out and just keep the momentum. I mean, the reality is if they're scoring tight, they're scoring both teams tight.
But you never see it that way when you're the other team. You know that, right? I mean, you absolutely know that. You can see how we'll start with Manga Haas Jada at the top, and right behind her, Greg Wire. Hallie Greg Wire will follow Reeves and Scharf, and so away we go for ASU on vault. Jada on the run.
Beautiful layout full. Pretty good control there on the landing for Arizona State. This is an event where if they are clean, they can make up some ground because of those start values that you saw in the lineups.
Jada with a 9-8 on bars on the first rotation. Emily Muller will start things. Malia Hargrove, Abigail Martin, it's Dietz, it's Durr, and it's Fear. But first, Emily Muller. She's a junior from Cary, North Carolina, went to Green Hope High School. On the bars, her career best is 9-9.
Aggressive first cast handstand. Combination work, high flying to Tkachev. She gets to that vertical very quick. Dynamic double land, and that is a great start. You know, the lead-off position, it's not just about hitting routine, it's about setting a tone. I mean, that set a very aggressive, go for every handstand, fight for every dismount. She brought power. It's an exciting bar routine to watch.
Yeah, coming off a 9-9 against Stanford, her career best. So hot on bars, as you can see the number for Jada to start things at 9.825. Greg Wire follows up next, start value of 10. An opportunity to get this talented gymnast going from Moorhead, Minnesota. On vault, her career best 9.925 with a win over Utah State and Southern Utah earlier this year.
That 1.5 twist, taking that step forward, but great technique, legs glued together, good body position. So just adding that extra half twist, takes that start value up, but look at the form in the air. She looked over the shoulder, but directly behind the table. So again, an obvious landing deduction, but nothing major to take besides that.
Emily with the 9.775. She is followed by Malia Hargrove. A 9.75 on vault for Malia Hargrove. Born in China, chemical engineering major, international relations as well. Talented student.
Similar combination we saw her teammate do. Just transition to that handstand on the low bar. Full twisting double back. You can see they know at this point in the season how important it is to go for those sticks. She just was a little stiff. She dropped her arms, which moved her chest position. We'll get another look at it right here. But her details were beautiful in this routine, nailing that final handstand. Watch as she lands, you see her arms move down, and it just forces her body into a pike position. Those hips travel back, and again, it's such a small deduction, but now's the time to start being aggressive and going for it so that by the end of the season, those are all becoming stuck landings.
9.85 for Gregoire, and now Gracie Reeves follows the great effort by Hargrove.
Also performs a 1.5 twist, hers in a tuck position. Nicely done for her.
The pride of Sunny Slope High School in Phoenix, Arizona. 9.925, her best ever on vault.
One of her obstacles is form right here with her legs. When she starts to tuck and twist at the same time, her legs come apart. Sometimes that throws her to the off balance or, you know, out of those white lines, but she was directly behind the table with a very nice landing.
9.75 for Hargrove after that 9.775. Abigail Martin, 9.750 just a moment ago on vault. The freshman.
Release up to the high bar, pack salto back down. Speed and power double layup. Looked like she came off a little early, but wow. Great landing.
It was back on October 11th in 2021 that she committed to be a Wildcat. Her mom, Margaret, was an elite gymnast at Illinois. 21 national champion at level 10 on beam.
She looked like she let go a little early on that dismount. It travels all the way to the end of the mat, but what she did right was she generated a lot of rotation, so she was able to whip it around at the end, putting it right in place.
Boy, that was shot out of a cannon. That really was. A 9.875 for Gracie. And we get to see Hannah again. Hannah competing in the all-around with the 9.8, the veteran to open things. It's always a treat when you see a gymnast like Hannah Scharf compete.
A little short. That's unusual for her. She looked like she got jammed in on the table just a little bit. Yeah, she comes into the table. Watch as she hits the table. She's a little off center and didn't get a push off of her arms. I mean, normally her vault is sky high, perfect in the air. She had to pipe down just a little bit.
Santos, few words for his veteran. The knowledge of Abigail Martin's 9.7. Elena Dietz now for Arizona. Dietz from Maple Grove, Minnesota.
She has a beautiful line. Line change right into that Tkachev. Off balance there. They are allowed to circle around, but they can take a balance deduction for starting to stand up and then circling back. Finishing with a nice clean double land, small step forward.
He's one of the team captains of this team. Maple Grove Senior High School in 2020, Junior Olympic Athlete of the Year, and an accomplished pianist as well. Theodoro is next, and an opportunity for ASU to continue their strong start. She's from Chaparral High School, which is located in Scottsdale, Arizona. Another Barrett Honors student, Alex, a junior.
She has a unique vault. Watch this. Turns onto the table to that front tuck half. Great distance. She's really worked hard on this vault to get the power and control, but also the form. So she turns onto the table into a front handspring position. She has to drive those heels to keep the rotation going and really holding on to that landing.
Well, the reaction said everything. That face, that smile, that was infectious. Really feeling like, as you said, the difficulty there. Sophie Dur, I should say. And a different vowel to the end of the talented gymnast name. After the 9.775 for Dietz, daughter of Karen and Aaron, and a freshman from Frisco, Texas. 9-9 on bars against Sac State and against Stanford this year. Two-time national qualifier.
Beautiful form and technique on her combination toe handstand to array. Her elbows are completely locked out on everything she's doing. It's such a small detail. But that technique really stands out. That is going to definitely be the best score of this rotation so far.
Sophie had the guts to go skydiving for the first time in August. Not alone, tandem, but she jumped out of a plane in the desert. So unafraid of landing, and unafraid of landing here.
Well, her technique throughout this routine was just beautiful. Elbows locked out, legs glued together, and she finished with the full twisting double back. And this was an exclamation point. Form in the air, and knew exactly where she was. She makes it look easy, but it's not.
Announcing her presence with authority, 14 years. She competed at Wolga Gymnastics in Texas. Anaya Smith from Laurel, Maryland, 9.95, her career best on vault. Vaulted a 9.925 against Stanford. Has had some really strong vault showings, a specialist certainly, and a future orthopedic surgeon. Or at least that's the goal.
Yurchenko, layout 1.5 twist. Wow, that was probably the most height I've seen her do on that vault. It seems to be getting better and better as the season goes. She didn't stick the landing, but as far as amplitude and power, one of the best I've ever seen her do. Nice form in the air, just a small step. That should hit the 9.9 mark.
As she followed Theodoro's 9.9. And you can see for Dietz that 9.775. And for Sophie Dur, that's strong, as you mentioned, by sticking a 9.875, the freshman. Allison Fears is from Marietta, California. And Allison opened up this match on vault with the 9.775. Here she goes.
Oh. Overshot. Tkachev. This is the hardest part about the uneven bars, is when you make a mistake, is you got to pick up the routine from there.
They were going to drop Abigail Martin's 9.7. There is some safety, some protection there.
Moving into her transition down to the low bar. Finishing double layout. Not easy to do, but a nice job to finish that routine. You can see the disappointment.
Yeah, get me inside the mind of an athlete who has to battle back from that immediately.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you practice these kind of things so you know what to do, but it was her opening element, her Tkachev right here. She just went too far, so she couldn't get a grab of that bar. But the hardest part is for an athlete, I know when that happened to me a few times, it was like, why am I on the floor? This is not where I'm supposed to be. And so you have to get out of that mindset, take a deep breath, and just finish the routine. And she did a nice job. You saw her dismount Now, she's got to let that go because she's still got 2 more events, and she is a key player for this team on beam and floor.
Yeah, they'll see her lead things off on beam, to your point. I mean, that's the interesting challenge about it. She'll lead off, so she shifts gears from a closer to lead off. By the way, the number for Anaya Smith, a 9.9 on vault. You predicted, or you thought that's what we'd see. Explosive, huh?
Absolutely. Clean. Really, the only deduction was that step forward.
This is the level-headedness that we spoke about with Court, kind of that just steady leadership.
Yeah, probably just walking her through what happened, but also, you know, hey, it's just a mistake. Let it go, move on. Still got a lot of work to do.
And when we talk about the meet status right now, it puts Arizona State on the road, up by a little bit more than a half point. That's the way they wanted to start. Remember, the Cats are closers on floor. Cats on beam in a moment. You can see the start as our meet tonight, Meet of the Week, presented by Pacific Premier Bank. A good start for ASU on vault and then on bars. And you can see where they are with a lead to start things anyway. Their head coach, Jay Santos, spends a little bit of time with us now. So, Jay, thanks for being with us. We really appreciate it. 13 days ago, you guys jumped up above 197 pretty comfortably. Then you went and beat Stanford with a near 197. How's February going for you in your mind?
It's going really well. We've been just really trying to focus on making progress each meet. I think we've been really doing that for probably the last probably four meets in a row, and just continuing to try to build, focus on our details, and just assess what we need every week. But I'm really happy with where things are trending and how the team's performing, their confidence right now. So it's exciting.
You can definitely see the confidence coming off of those 2 meets. How do you feel the first 2 events went in this competition with the aggressiveness and fighting for those details that you were working on?
Yeah, I thought we were a little tight on bars. A couple of our landings, I think they were trying to place them a little too perfect. But I'm really happy how they responded on vault. They got loose the way they need to. They really got after the vaults we want to see. Big vaults, really dynamic. I think we reset and did a great job there. So now we just got to keep that momentum moving.
Well, now you're going to Florida. This is an event where there's some room for improvement. What have you guys been working on in training this week?
It's just landings, being clean on our landings, working a little bit on our leaps and things like that, those little details. It's been, again, Florida's been trending in the right direction after a couple of mistakes early on. So, we're excited about that too.
So it's interesting. We can use all the adjectives we want, but we're not her coach. Tell us a little bit about what an athlete like Hannah Scharf means to the program, to the university, and to her teammates.
She's been a rock for us, and just just such a solid, person you can count on in the lineups for years and years. She's been doing all around, for forever at this point, and she handles it so well. She handles the pressure. She handles the preparation. She knows exactly what she needs to do when we communicate. She'll communicate that. So just having her in a lineup, you can count on a routine, and that settles everybody else down. So it's great.
Yeah, and everybody thinks when you get to that point, as you said, like the strength and the confidence. But I think the outsiders think, well, she's got it all figured out now. With that being said, where do you think she's improved the most this season?
It's in her confidence. Just coming back, doing it as long as you have. Sometimes you start to overthink things a little bit. So she's been just really working on just staying within herself and just dialing things in. And she's been making really consistent progress over the course of the years. So I'm really excited to see that for her.
Thank you for your time. Best of luck the second half of this one.
Thank you.
ASU, this is exactly how they wanted to start on the road. Now they hop on floor, and they'll look to make that gap even larger when we come back to McHale in Tucson, Arizona. What a great conversation, really talking to both of these coaches, to listening to the different perspectives. And on balance beam is where Arizona moves next. They're 21st in the land. I've talked about it until you're almost tired of me talking about it, but on floor you can see they're 13. But on beam, understanding that they need to make a nudge here. They got to kind of push and shove a little bit. How important is it? And talk to me a little bit about Allison Fierce, who suffered that fall just a moment ago on bars.
Well, you can see she is the leadoff on this event, but Arizona is a great beam team. They've made some adjustments to their lineup. They went back, putting her in that leadoff position because that's where she's most comfortable. And I can relate. I love to be first up on beam. Less time to think about it. And after having a fall on bars, come on over, let's get warmed up, and let's go. Let's stop thinking about it and get back into action. So I think she knows what to do in this position, but the goal is that she just settles the team and starts off solid.
Look, this is a winner, too. I mean, this is an accomplished gymnast who has had all-around victories, who was the coach's choice winner here a couple of weeks back on January 23rd. And, of course, on beam, her numbers pretty darn strong. 9.875, her career best out of Vista Murrieta, California.
First major element, tumbling series. Backhand layout, step out. Nice cover, a little off. I think that's the key for balance beam. You're not going to be perfectly straight every single time you go. It's being able to cover it up, not overreact, and most of all, stay on. See a variety of skills throughout a beam routine, the tumbling elements, single acro skills like that, side aerial, she had a little bobble. Of course, the leaps, jumps. Some have to be in connection like that.
That 9.875 came earlier this year against Sac State on beam.
Dismounting 1.5 twist. She had those 2 small bobbles, but she has to feel really good about that routine, especially coming off the uneven bars and not having a lot of time to regroup.
Now, what a nice comeback that was. On the floor, Kayla Lee will bat leadoff. She's from Horizon High School in Scottsdale, Arizona, 9.875. Her career best on floor. The daughter of Steve and Cynthia. This is Kayla Lee to start things for ASU.
Twisting to start the routine off front, double full. Popping right into that lunge, showing good control. We'll see her in the leadoff spot on balance beam as well. Back 1.5 to that front layout.
The 22 state championship at Arizona at her level, level 10, won it on floor, one state. .8 or better, 6 times on floor.
Finishing front 1.5 twist.
Kayla Lee.
It's a good start for the Sun Devils. She does a lot of twisting in this routine. The final pass, a front 1.5 twist. Finding her balance on that lunge.
On floor, ASU 39th in the nation, 39th in the nation at 9.75 for Allison Fear. Caroline Harry takes her turn on beam. Caroline, the senior from Argyle, Texas University Prep, 9.9, her career best on this apparatus. And she's a captain of this team.
Perfect back handspring layout, step out. Solid side semi.
4 times this was a JO national qualifier.
Showing nice extension. A little tentative on that second jump.
9 on beam a couple of years ago against Air Force and Southern Utah back in 2021.
Dismounting back handspring, 1.5 twist. Very nice. She has a very serious style on balance beam. I think that's another factor, is you have to find what works for you. You see some that are really dancing up there and some that are just game face. She had a game face from start to finish, holding it there on that finish.
Had a great post on Instagram, did Harry, where she posted an Arizona sunset, and as a senior she said simply, this is my last semester of sunsets and I'm going to miss them on the horizons of Arizona. Back on the other side, we saw Lee with the 9.8. This is Gracie Reeves on floor. Reeves. And that's Hallie Gregoire. Check that.
Big first tumbling pass, full twisting double back. Little step back there, but
Gregoire 9.85 earlier in this meet on vault.
dynamic music to fit her powerful gymnastics, matching the strong choreography as well.
She debuted on floor with a 9.85. That was her debut in Central Michigan. Out of the gates, she was throwing heat.
Nice front 1.5 twist to that layout step out.
Forks up.
You'll notice she only did 2 tumbling passes because of the difficulty. There's a few routines we'll see in the Arizona State floor lineup that only have 2, and that's because they're meeting all the difficulty requirements right there. Her combination, having 2 flips and the same tumbling pass. Her reverse worm. Fun routine.
Back in 22, won a state championship, North Dakota, all around, but also on floor. Did the same thing in 2018. Hallie Gregoire will look for her numbers. We see that 9.825 for Harry. Emily Muller now on beam. Muller 42nd in the nation on balance beam.
Unique combination, side aerial layout, step out. Lots of difficulty packed. Both elements are the saltos.
On beam against Stanford this season.
She needs a great landing here. It'll be a solid score. Holding on to it. Excellent.
You got it. What a great reaction.
She showed beautiful flexibility on her elements right here. Straddle jump. It was solid all the way through, and then she finished it out with the 1.5 twist, keeping those feet right in place.
The teammate support in such an individual sport, there's no better than your team nearby. Kimberly Smith, her given name, now on floor, looks to light this building up. Kimberly from Lake Forest, California, went to Mission Viejo High School. 9.85, her career best on floor. A sophomore.
pike. Nice position on the landing. Chest was very high.
Off to a good start, this Barrett Honors College student. Couple of 9.85s this year. One of them against that Cal Oklahoma meet.
Clean combination. When I talked to Jay, he said we had a great meet, but we had some struggles, and one of the struggles was her floor routine. She had some stumbles. So great job rebounding from that meet. She opened this routine with a high-flying double pike, and look how she landed. Her chest was up nice and high. They cannot take a posture deduction for that. And then finishing it again, difficult, powerful double tuck.
A heavily decorated coming to campus, 4 times won a California State Championship. Competed in nationals in 18, 19, and in 21. Muller 9.90. Things getting better on beam for the Cats. Abigail Martin, you're up next. Ready to climb above that number, Abigail? The freshman out of Texas. On beam, she's posted a 9.825, her best her first year.
We can't stop the ocean, and we can't stop the wind. Here and there gone.
Seems like a good night to top that number.
She's only a freshman, but she was excellent on the beam as a club gymnast.
Yeah, level 10 national champion.
Yeah. And you can see that confidence, snapping that landing position, that first major element.
Texas State champion as well.
Very sharp in her arm positions. Makes crisp choreography. Great job.
Abigail Martin, as we said, looking to top that career best on beam. The Cats making a bit of a move here, knowing floor's next.
Gives you a good look. It's only 4 inches wide. Athletes that are great at balance beam make it look easy, but a lot of it is training. Lots of repetition on this event to gain the confidence you need under pressure. Nice job.
Kim Smith with a 9.825, following Gregoire's 9.85. Emily White, it is now your turn. Emily gets ready to roll on floor. 9.95, her career best. A 9.9 or better 5 times, 3 times on floor this year. She's been posting up on floor.
Clean front double full to start.
At the 18 SoCal champion, she was 3rd in the entire group on floor.
This floor routine is such a good way to show her personality. She's fun and lighthearted. There's some piece of her gymnastics that just makes it feel effortless and easy. She floats through her skills and her transitions.
So strong in the second half, very strong on beam as well.
Stunning lead pass. That switch range, almost passing 180 degrees of the split.
Emily White. ASU posting up on floor.
Take a look at the final pass. Lots of difficulty in that pass. The back 1.5 immediate front full. And then look at that lead pass. Driving past 180 degrees. She just makes me smile when I watch her perform.
Meantime, on the other side, Abigail Martin knows that 9.825 did match her career best, wasn't able to climb above it, but you can see the numbers thus far in front of Jessica Castles, and we see Castles perform for the second time in this meet. So Castles with a 9.775 on vault to open things up from Fleet, England.
Showing control and flexibility right off the top in this routine. Nice job settling in on the landing of her tumbling series.
She's been a consistent contributor, has been healthy. 24 meets last 2 years. All the meets her freshman year.
Wow, it looked like her foot slipped on the landing there of that leap, but able to cover it up.
Her 9.925 on beam was at Stanford last year. That was stunning.
Moving down to the difficult wolf turn. Takes tremendous balance.
Stuck it.
A little, wiggled her head a little bit there, like, hey. Watch this turn. I mean, they make it look easy. Staying completely balanced. You could see she got a little lean back on it, but. And then right here, watch the landing. She nails it and says, hey, pretty good.
Yeah, they know they have the floor in front of them. They definitely wanted to give themselves the best chance. We're seeing the numbers grow on floor for ASU. Emily White's 9.9, making things even more difficult. Jada Mangahas now from Allentown, PA. When she hops on the floor, we see a career best of 9.95.
This is a high energy routine. She's got the big tumbling coming next. Pull in, pulls it around there at the end. Her trademark, that big kick in her routine. Changes the choreography, but that kick is always in there.
That's impressive. It's big. Rockettes big. Last pass.
Combination, front through to the double tuck.
Jada.
Beautiful routine.
Trying to follow Emily White's 9.9 mob by her teammates.
Well, the good news news for Arizona State is that's 5 really solid scores, so hoping to continue to build, but dynamic, powerful, and clean on the landings. I think that's what Jay Santos was saying, is they want to be aggressive, but they want to be clean, and so far they're doing a great job there.
Yeah, that's 5 great scores. Hannah, the closer, though. You still can lean on Hannah to really take a swing for things. Meantime, on beam, Jessica with the 9-8. You see running down the numbers there. They certainly could stand a taller number from Elena Dietz, who gets an opportunity to close things up. Elena, one of the team captains, 48th in the nation on beam.
And the score they're hoping to drop is that 9.75. Very nice. She has a beautiful line and artistry to her gymnastics. We saw her on the even bars where the lines are handstands and form, but on beam and floor, you see the artistry moving effortlessly into every single skill. Switch side, showing that beautiful split.
9.925 on beam against Stanford on the 27th of January. .9.875 on beam last year against ASU.
Dismounting. Careful. 6 for 6 for Arizona on the beam.
After a 9-8, Dietz really does close again. This is one of the top competitors in the land on this apparatus. You expect tall things, but this team truly needed that, though, as we shift right back to the other side. Speaking of closers, Hannah, they'll look to drop that 9.775 and keep the pressure on Arizona.
Opening with a double pike, her combination front through to double tuck. Perfect landing there.
12 floor titles in her decorated career at meets in the conference, regionals, nationally.
Including one last week. She got that 9.9. That was to edge out Stanford.
And 9.95 is her career best. Innisdale Secondary School in Ontario, Canada. You heard her coach say her confidence has been her greatest improvement this year.
Final pass. There's the double pike.
Hannah!
Great routine. That should also notch their score up. They had that 9.775 early on in the rotation as well. Front tumbling pass, front full to front tuck. And then finished with the high flying double pike. Looking very strong there at the end.
Yeah, we just saw Elena with the 9.85 Dietz on beam. So we're going to see more separation. And that high-ranking floor number that Arizona has really started to post this year, they're going to now have to have it. And then some.
Well, and Arizona State's got to go to the balance beam, right? That's a very good event for them, but the balance beam is the balance beam, right? So finishing strong there is going to be key for this team. Let's
run down. We talked about Dietz in the 9.85. Dropped the Allison Fears 9.75. And a 49.225 for Arizona on beam. That would be on beam for Arizona, the best number they've posted this year.
Yeah, they were solid across the board, and they're a beam team. They've made some changes to that lineup, and it definitely worked.
And 21st in the land. So just for your perspective, folks, they're averaging 49.080. That's the kind of bump up they had tonight. That's going to make John happy.
Absolutely, and now they're going to their best event, floor.
So now on floor for ASU, coming in 39th in the land. They rock a 49.275. That's above their average of 49.050. They had bested that once with a 49.325, but a 49.275 again. That's going to increase their lead, though.
Very close. And Jay told us it's all about being consistency and continuing to build. They've had a very solid night. They need to finish it out.
So there's your gap. Unofficially, there's your gap. 7/10. Tough to make up?
Yeah, it's the balance beam.
Oh, it all comes down to a team that is so strong on floor, the Arizona Cats, but will it be enough? Can they lean on their floor domination? We'll see. Stay on that beam, Sun Devils. Olympic gold medalist Amanda Borden, Darren Sutton, thanks for spending time with us so far tonight. Where Amanda, thus far, it's been exactly what Coach Santos wanted to do with his ASU Sun Devils, knowing the beam's a challenge for every college team. This is a good place to be in.
Absolutely. I think both teams have had a good night. I think Arizona State took an early lead on vault and bars, and that's where the biggest difference has been. A little more evenly matched on beam and floor, but Arizona's finishing on their best event, the floor exercise. ASU very strong on the balance beam, so it's still anybody's game.
Hey, can we talk about floor exercise, by the way? And let's shift gears to Cal. Right now, what Maya Lezon has done, the Kent Washington native, has just been incredible. I mean, 27 top threes last year, but this year, second in all around, second in floor, second in beam, second in vault. One of the best in the nations in this conference.
Well, she's always been a phenomenal gymnast. This year, though, showing her consistency. She's got the technique. That's what delivers great gymnastics time after time. She's fighting for the form and the details, sticking landings, and that's what it takes.
And for Cal, what that means, as you look at all those rankings, her continued growth is on the uneven bars. She's ranked 65th in the country, still 65th in the country amongst all competing gymnasts. Cal, number one in this conference with the 197.604 average. And they're second in the land. It's Cal, then it's Utah, then it's UCLA, all inside of the top 10 in the Conference of Champions. But this is who everyone is talking about, as you said, always has been a strong gymnast, but piecing things together for the first time. And there's that work on beam as we peek in.
Well, that's what it takes, is constant work. Maya Lezon is such a perfect example of that. She is the #1 all-arounder in the Pac-12 conference. But as season rolls around to the end, you're going to see a lot of athletes really fighting to get in those positions.
At posting points, certainly the individual athletes. Team matters too. It's for ASU, it's this meet, then 8 days from now, it's Washington at home. You and I will be able to bring that one to the folks. Then it's at Oregon State for ASU on March 1st. They close out their season with UCLA on Saturday, March 9th at home. And then March 15th, Southern Connecticut at home as well. Pac-12 championships, by the way, start Saturday, March 23rd.
And what I like to say is, until you see every team under the same roof with the same judges, you just never know.
All right, we'll close things out when we come back. A lot of pressure on the Cats on floor, and certainly on the Devils on beam.
It's been a long night and they're telling me to go home. Been a long time since I felt this good on my own. Lot of years went by with my head up in your ropes. Forever and ever, no more.
Think about the beauty of Tucson, the Sunsets athletes saying goodbye that are seniors here. But there's always the pride of the visiting team from the Valley that comes down here. As a matter of fact, the Gym Devils won this point, the Territorial Cup point, 7 consecutive years from 17 to 23. And ASU-led Jay Santos' team has not lost to Arizona in dual meet period.
Well, and it's looking like it could finish that way this year as well. Arizona State strong on the balance beam. They did have some stumbles. Last week, their leadoff, Kayla Lee right here, had a fall. The positive was the 5 athletes after her nailed their routine. So right now it's going to be getting that ball rolling.
But Kayla Lee had a win earlier this year. Came away with a victory at Denver with a 9.925 on beam.
She's a nice smooth style on this event. Moving across with her dance combinations. And then stepping up to the very end of the beam here. Her triple series, 2 back handsprings layout, step out. Very nice.
.98 or better 7 times on beam in her career, a sophomore.
Solid landing there, her jump series. Dismounting 1.5 twist, that is a great start. That's why she's in the leadoff position. Last week, I think, was a bit uncharacteristic, but you always have to wonder if that's in the back of your mind coming into the next competition. This was the first big test of her routine. 2 back handsprings to that layout step out. She knew exactly where she wanted her body to be on that landing. And then finishing with the clean stuck dismount.
Kayla, the daughter of Steve and Cynthia from Horizon High School in Scottsdale, Arizona. Elena Dietz will start things. More pressure being put on from ASU. Dietz on floor from Maple Grove, Minnesota. 9.925 her career best on floor. That was at the Norman Regional back in 2022.
She's a very elegant gymnast. I've already mentioned her lines and her extension. Front layout, front fold to start the routine. Dancing right out of it.
Dietz a 9.85 on beam. 9.775 on bars.
Only performing 2 passes. Finishing the routine with a double tuck. Holding on.
Elena Dietz.
Beautiful routine to watch. And a great start for Arizona on floor. She opened with the combination pass and then finished with the double tuck. Nice job stepping back into that lunge.
Tough for Dietz to make up points or her mates when you have an athlete like Kayla Lee, though, on beam. Open things for ASU with a 9.875.
That is a great start. And you want to really see the team build from there.
Gracie Reeves, she'll get the call to do just that. Sunny Slope High School, the Phoenician, and on beam her career best 9.9.
Also doing a triple series. Just like Kayla, 2 back handsprings to the layout. Step out, settling it in. She's a quick pace to her routine. A balance check there on the split jump.
Benefits to moving quicker on the beam are?
You know, everybody has a different style. I like to move at a very, I guess, medium rhythm. You see some people move very slow and elegant. Some are very sharp. Whatever your style is that helps you move aggressively. Dismounting tuck 1.5, small step forward. Good routine.
Gracie Reeves.
See that 1.5 twist, hers in a tuck position. She did a nice job keeping those knees glued together.
So we know before her mate, Kayla Lee with the 9.875. We know we're trying to make up if you're Arizona, 7/10. Dietz does not do that. It's not a one-on-one, we understand that, but every time you see a little bit of separation, you get excited if you're an ASU fan. Allison Fears with a chance to make a difference. Had a fall on bars, had a lower score on beam. Fears so strong on floor. Let's watch her go to work now. .99, her career best.
High flying double tuck. Oh, had to take an additional step back there. Showing off her beautiful flexibility, not just on the lead pass, but her choreography.
Allison, Sis, Aspen, parents Heather and Scott. She's as comfortable on a surfboard or a wakeboard as she is right now on this floor.
She'll finish with her combination pass. Back 1.5 twist to the front full. Very nice.
Allison Fears.
She opened the routine with a double tuck, and then watch when she lands. A little too much over rotation, so she takes one step and then unfortunately has to take that additional step. The goal is keeping it to that lunge position, but this final pass, back 1.5 twist to the front full. Nicely done.
So we'll await Fears' number, understanding that Kayla Lee had that 9.875 and Reeves with the 9.725. Right behind her, Jada Mangajas. Jada steps up onto the beam where her career best is 9.925. She's from Allentown, PA, where she was the high school pole vault record holder. Track and field athlete as well.
It's always amazing how gymnasts find balance just in managing the hours it takes in the sport, along with maintaining good grades, and then you throw in an additional sport as well. Definitely shows the discipline. Nice front to back tumbling combination. Switch leap to the switch half. Solid kick over front. Dismounting, gainer pike off the end. Excellent routine for her.
Feeling like she may be the closer. Stuck it. A courageous leap on the dismount.
Her leap pass, a switch leap to that switch half. Nice difficulty, solid landing there, and then this dismount, wrapping it up. Gainer pike off the end, knew exactly where she was, holds on to it, and then yells, "Let's go!" Great routine for her.
It was beautiful. It had the looks of someone going off the high dive at a pool on one of these campuses. Spectacular. Allison Fears with a 9.725. Time to lean on Emma Strom, the sophomore from Omaha, Nebraska. On floor, her career best is 9.9. She posted that at UCLA. Big chance for her now.
Lots of fun music in this floor routine. It's just fun to sit back and watch.
Yeah, hanging in the 80s with this stuff. Emma with the 9.725. They dropped that on full.
Nice work there. Front 1.5 to a back layout step out. She was a little short on it, so the layout traveled forward a little bit.
Mom was a gymnast at Denver. That's Michelle. Dad, Colin, is a hockey player at Nebraska, Omaha. You had me at a mix of Careless Whisper.
Holding on to that landing as well. She was a little off on her positions and the combinations, but what a great job at being able to cover the landings. And what a fun routine. That really showcases her personality. She doesn't stop smiling that entire routine.
I would concur. It was infectious. This crowd into it. Her mates certainly into it. Meantime, there's a lot of pressure being put on from the talented athletes that travel up I-10 to go home. You see Jada with a 9.8, so even if Gracie ends up being dropped, you're looking at a 9.875 and a 9.8 on beam. We'll see. They can hold on to Gracie's as well. This is Sarah Clark with her chance. Sarah steps up. Her best on beam, 9.95. One time, 3 champions on beam.
And a 9.925 last week. She won the balance beam title. Double stack ring, having to drop her head back, looking way up into the roof of the arena. Not easy to do. So dismounting off the end, gainer front full. Another solid routine for Arizona State.
And they're edging closer to a win here. As we mentioned, they came in with a pretty comfortable 7/10 lead and needed to be nearly perfect Arizona.
Slight bobble there on her front aerial. She had no major deductions throughout that routine. Makes her way to the very end of the beam where she does a gainer. Swings that leg, back and around, front full twist, holds on to the landing.
9.85 for the sophomore Emma Strom, matching the number posted by Elena Dietz to open things. Emily Muller now will again look to keep nudging forward the junior from Cary, North Carolina. And on floor, 9.925, her career best. Posted that back on January 12th this year. And also against North Carolina in the Denver Regional in 23.
Emily is a great performer. This is some fun music. You'll see lots of personality throughout this routine. Big double pike to start it.
So far, so strong for Emily with a definite Broadway feel. Oh, my Emily.
So fun. I think that's the best part about floor is you really get to see the personality of the athletes. Of course, you have to encompass with choreography, but the tumbling is so important. She was dynamic, clean, great routine.
Following Emma's 9.85, but on the other end, Sarah Clark with a 9.85 on beam. Just about closed up. You have Hannah Sharp and Emily White to wrap this up. But it's stacking up like a Sun Devils victory in Tucson. Let's watch Hannah perform on beam. The gifted, heavily decorated Hannah Sharp. On beam, she's won titles 5 times and her career best, 9.95.
Double wolf turn. Just a few weeks back, I saw Arizona State at Utah. She had a stumble on that element. Solid side summy. Clean lead pass, switch lead, split jump. All that's left is the dismount. Small step forward. We saw her scores up there. She had a bit of a stumble on vault, but her other 3 events were just exactly what she is known for. Solid, clean, tumbling element right there, back handspring layout, step out. She was dead center, perfect landing, and then wrapped it up with a 1.5 twist. Good night for her.
A strong night for Hannah Sharp. Muller again, the third 9.85 on the floor. Caroline Harry now on floor. Harry 9.95, her career best on floor at BYU a couple of years back. One of 3 team captains along with McCabe and Dietz.
Nice double tack to start the routine.
Heading into her senior year, had the blessing of traveling to Italy, a little bit of international travel last year.
Much more intense choreography style than we just saw from the last 2 athletes. We saw her on the balance beam. She scored a 9.825. She definitely has a game face on beam and floor.
Yeah, for a generation now, too, she has been an incredible student in the classroom.
Fast flipping double pike. Excellent routine.
Yeah, bucket full of 9.85s or better for Arizona. Certainly holding serve on what they do so well. That's perform on floor.
Take another look at that final pass. She really set that up and flipped it very quick.
Still shy of that 9.9 or better. Let's see if they can grab one of those, whether it's Harry or Hargrove who will wrap things up. But meantime, things stay strong for ASU on beam with the 9.825. So Gracie Reeves with the 9.725 up above. Emily White will look to put an eraser to that and make it a very strong finish for ASU on beam.
Emily is beautiful on this event. I mentioned on floor, she just has a lightness to her gymnastics. You'll see throughout her choreography, very light on her feet, moving in and out of her elements. Beautiful back handspring layout, step out.
She's 32nd in the country on beam. So a really strong, consistent performer.
Solid for an aerial, directly to that beat jump.
Beautiful.
All she has left is the dismount. Finishing with the 1.5 twist. Little back on the left side there, but that's definitely gonna erase the 9.725 early on in the rotation.
And with that, White says goodnight to the Cats as the closer on beam. The gap was closed a small amount, only 75/100ths to this point to the last two competitors. And Emily White, despite that small step back, ices the win. You see a strong 9.9 from there. It's just too big to make up a gap like that without a couple of falls. You hate to say it.
Yeah. ASU did not open the door
No, they
for
didn't.
Arizona to make a move.
But let's enjoy Malia Hargrove. Boy, is she talented on floor. Our final performer of the night. Hargrove, her career best, 9.925 on floor. 3 times back in 23 against Washington, Oregon State, and BYU. 31st in the land on floor.
Big tumbling, full twisting double back. Great control on the landing. She's a nice, fun mix of music and choreography to match. Clean combination, whip half to front full. She has a headstand skill. This is my first time seeing U of A in person. Oh, right here. That's wowed the crowd. She finishes it with double tuck. Great height. Clean landing.
What a pleasure to watch. Following Caroline's 9.9, 3 9.85s prior to that. In all likelihood, they'll drop Fear's 9.725.
Yeah, it was a great rotation for Arizona. Look at this right here. It has wowed the crowds. It's a fun routine for her. Suits her personality. Finished it up with a double tack. Nice difficulty, confident landing. We talked about floor being a great event for Arizona, and they didn't disappoint. They had great routines, good tumbling, fun music, and choreography.
But they posted ASU a 49.225 on beam, besting the 49.175 on floor for one of the top floor teams in the land. Talk about finishing strong for Santos's team. That's incredible.
Well, absolutely, and that was the goal. Start solid and continue to build, and I think that's exactly what they did throughout the competition today.
Let's talk quickly, if you don't mind, about Jada Mangaha. She wins the all-around in this one, the Allentown, PA competitor. She was strong overall. Jada with a 39.225.
She's dynamic, she's confident, and she was solid across the events, wrapping it up on beam with a solid 9.8.
When we come back, we'll talk with Jada. The Sun Devils are victorious on the road here in Tucson, Arizona. A Territorial Cup point heads back up to Tempe. To dominate from the opening tip to use the basketball cup, but they really did, as these two strong head coaches in this conference exchange words. But Jada Mangaha was part of the story. She competed in all-around. She wins the all-around title. Jada, thanks for hanging out with us. Congratulations. We really appreciate a moment of your time.
Thank you.
Well, you guys opened so strong, and it's one thing to kind of teeter back and forth, but from the moment you guys opened here, you closed, and I tell you, the way you guys finished on beam, that's hard to do, to outscore a team that's performing on floor. You had to be proud.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like this is how we've been practicing, and it really showed how confident we were from start to finish. And ending on beam, I feel like we've been doing that a lot this season. We've been traveling on and off throughout January and February, so I feel like we've kind of gotten used to finishing on beam, and it's really showed with our confidence ending on beam today.
Definitely, you see the small improvements week after week. There are, I believe, 9 seniors on this team. How important is that as you guys wrap up the season and head into the postseason to have that kind of leadership?
Yeah, I feel like a lot of us have a lot of experience going into postseason and kind of the pressure that comes with it, and I think it's really helped us to kind of lead the freshmen and the underclassmen into that postseason. So I think it'll be super helpful going into Pac-12s and regionals and so on.
Every meet, I've seen just small little improvements, and when I talked to Jay earlier, he said we want to start solid and continue to grow. How far and where do you feel like you guys can continue to make improvements as a team?
Yeah, I feel like from the beginning of the season, we've been making progress little by little, even in practice, and I think just focusing on those little details like landings and handstands on bars and just pointed feet, everything like that, will help us in the long run. Those are little tenths that kind of add up to our final score, so I think if we just keep focusing on that in the gym like we have been, it'll help our score keep going.
So it's interesting, Jada. It's fun to see a senior athlete improve, right? So I ask you simply, when we all think you've got it figured out, I think you'll tell me, no, I haven't, Darren, got it all figured out. So where have you grown the most this season? What part of your sport has grown the most for you?
I mean, just the addition of beam has really shown my growth. I think the last few years I've been trying to get into that lineup and just haven't been able to make it that far, but I think I put a lot of work into it in preseason, and that's where my growth, I feel like I've seen the most this year, and just being consistent on that event so far this year has felt really good for me since I haven't been able to make that lineup, so I feel like my growth definitely has come from adding that last and final event.
Well, you're one of the many upperclassmen on this team. What are you going to miss most about your experience at Arizona State?
I think my teammates. I mean, we have 9 seniors, like you said, and they've become my best friends over the last 4 years. So I think just missing out on seeing them every day and practicing and being able to compete with them, and just the experiences I have on this team, I'm just going to miss them so much.
Jada, tell her it's not over yet, though. You have some business to finish up. It's not.
Absolutely.
She's trying to pack you up and get you out of here right now. Hey, congratulations. Congratulations to you and your team. Enjoy the celebration, albeit briefly, tonight. Congrats on beating the Cats.
Thank you so much.
That's such a great question. I know I had fun with it, but I think we sometimes take for granted the relationships and how much it touches your life, and you went through it for a lifetime.
Absolutely. These guys will be friends for life. They share such close moments of success as well as some struggles, and it's just something they'll never forget.
Yeah, we talked about the 39.225 for Mangaha, Hannah Sharp with a 39.125 all around, Allison Fears with a 38.325. The domination continues for Jay Santos when he takes on his rivals from Tucson, Arizona. On behalf of our entire Pac-12 Network production team, the SIDs for both programs, we couldn't do it without them, and the coaches, and our production team with the Pac-12 Network, Working with the Olympic gold medalist is all sorts of fun. On behalf of Amanda Borden, my name is Darren Sutton. Enjoy the college basketball.